Interrompemos esse podcast para perguntar: quem você quer ser?
Designer, engenheira, pedagoga,
administrador.
Quer saber? O Senac EAD é nota máxima no MEC. Tem cursos de diversas áreas, com conteúdo elaborado por especialistas do mercado e professores mestres e doutores. Ainda tem o Senac Carreiras, conectando estudantes a vagas de emprego em todo o país. Saiba mais em ead.senac.br/graduação.
Dr. Homebrew is brought to you by 5 Star Chemicals, providing safety and cleaning supplies for brewing, distilling, and winemaking at 5starchemicals.com.
Doctor, look!
Stand aside, nurse. I'm Dr. Homebrew.
Clear.
Air guitar in here to start the show. It's Dr. Homebrew, everybody. The jams you are watching, if you're on the video, are Brian. The jams you're listening to are unknown.
Yeah, baby.
The intro to Dr. Homebrew. And so we're going to do I think we're going to do a live show from NHC. You should bring your guitar and you should play this. We can probably get the drum, isolate the drums out, and you could just shred for the opening.
I look better on air guitar than I sound on the real one. Yeah,
that might be true. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Before we get started, I want to thank 5 Star. And if you are going to the National Homebrewers Conference, be sure to stop by their booth because they're nice people, and you can chat with them about Star San and Sandy Clean and PB Dubs and all that kind of stuff, and then go get them beers and just thank them for being a part of this show because they were our original sponsor, I believe, of the show, and we wouldn't be doing the show without them. That was kind of a thing that Jay and I were talking about years back when we started. We didn't want to do a show if it didn't have a title sponsor, and they stepped up, and they've been with us ever since. Yeah. Not to mention, if you're on the show, you get a prize pack from them.
That's good.
So they're giving away stuff. They want you to use their products. They're great stuff. They're great people. Check them out.
I wouldn't be brewing without them, really. I mean, what was I using before then? Like, bleach? Like, what was going on there, Yes. But seriously, like bleach and soaking bottles and PBW, not PBW, but OxyClean that had like some sort of
people go, you can just use OxyClean. Yeah. No, it's different.
And
it's different.
There was like this residue on my bottles all the time. I was being really cheap back then, like saving all the commercial bottles I drank and then soaking them, and they were just it was just awful.
I was using iodophor a lot, and that was the thing when I was coming up, and I would get everything would stain, and I would get some left over in the beer sometimes because I was using too much because you go, if a little bit's good, more is better, right? It's great.
I think they actually sell iodophor as well, but
no, they do, but it's a different thing because there are people who, and I remember talking about this, they didn't used to, and people just really like using it. And so they made a product specifically for that, which is kind of badass. Really.
I have some at home, but I think the main reason why, not to get too much into why, well, maybe I'm totally wrong here, but the main reason people switch is that you want to keep moving things around a little bit so nothing gets really comfortable, like getting past like the goalie on Star San all the time, and you switch over to iodophor for a while, then go back to Star San just to kind of go back and forth and
shock everything. Well, it's all good stuff. I'm pretty excited about it. You know what else I'm excited about? Real fast before we get to Taylor. I've been drinking a lot of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale lately, and it's never a beer that I've ever really looked to for anything other than like, that's a beer that I was never really into it. Yeah. I don't know why. It just seemed very old school taste wise. It wasn't really what I was looking for, and I think a lot of it was like heat damaged Sierra Nevada Pale Ale tastes like shit. It tastes terrible. And it's like very harsh and astringent and just weird. And I think that I wasn't getting enough fresh Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. But now, with the benefit of them being much bigger than they were 20 years ago, I'm getting much fresher beer. Like I bought a 12-pack yesterday or the other day. I was canned like 5 weeks ago, and I feel like that would never have happened beforehand. So it's tasting so good. I
had a nice sunny day at the Monterey Aquarium the other day, and had a bottle of that with my lunch there. We had oceanfront seating, of course, there in the cafeteria there. Wanted to go to Alvarado Street, but anyway, we just ate there, but I had a pale ale there, and it was pretty refreshing for the moment there.
I actually have a picture of myself when I was like 19 at somebody's graduation party drinking Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. It was like the first time I had craft beer, and I have a picture on my fridge at home of that. Like that's where it all started. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. It was just really weird for me. It's really weird for me. Okay. Here are other beers.
What was once old is now
new. Here is Taylor's beer. It really is. Let me give him a call. And I guess that's why I bring it up, because I never in a million years would have ever looked at myself as liking Sierra Nevada. I love Celebration Ale. We've talked about that a lot, but it's kind of interesting to kind of I don't want to say revisit these beers because it's the old standard, but it's a standard for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to say, oh, yeah, I'm just drinking it because it's retro.
Yes,
cool.
It's retro.
It's like, no, it's not like that. Actually, it's just refreshing in certain situations on its own. And sometimes you want a big monster, modern.
But it's interesting how what you want changes, how your palate changes as to what you're looking for, Oh, it's crazy. Taylor, are you here, man?
Yeah, dude, I'm here.
All right, how you doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm great, man. How are you guys?
Perfect.
Good.
Just hanging out, dude. All right, so we got your beer in front of us. Thank you for sending it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Is this your first IPA or something you've been doing for a while?
No. So, but actually, my first IPA was actually a smoked IPA, so I've kind of gone away from that a little bit and kind of perfected.
Huh.
What's that?
I said I wonder why. It doesn't. Was it good? Because smoked IPA doesn't sound good.
Dude, it was delicious. Actually, I smoked the hops. I got Leaf Cascade hops and cold smoked them, and it was actually really, really good. It brought out all that beautiful smoke quality without having any of that bitter, astringent nonsense that nobody likes out of a smoked beer.
You smoked the hops.
I've done it a few times since then, but I'm just trying to perfect that whole West Coast, your guys' style IPA thing now. So,
where are you from, man?
This recipe is like my fourth attempt at that. So.
Okay. Where are you right now? Where are you from?
Kansas City.
Okay. Because you're saying, dude, wait, a little too much to not be from the West Coast. I want you to back off like 20%. That's our word, and I'm just kidding.
Well, can I borrow it for tonight?
Yes, you can, dude. Don't worry about it.
Call us fellers or howdy, folks.
Yeah. Keith, why don't you start off, man, as your mid-sniff?
Thanks, JP.
You're welcome, buddy.
So on the nose, initially I'm getting a more malt than hops, but I'm getting a caramel sweetness, but also butterscotch, and that's coming along with diacetyl as well. So I'm getting this diacetyl butterscotch malt mixed together, a little bit of citrus hops there. Beyond that, maybe a light fruit esters, but not a ton of hops. Low on the hops for the style, and like I said, mentioned the big fermentation problem really is the diacetyl here on the nose. So I'm picking that up right away. Appearance, interesting appearance. Pretty clear. The color is light amber, but there's this strange brownish tinge to it, which makes me think of oxidation in the bottle. Noticed it last night a little bit when I was judging this, and today even more so in the brightly lit room here that we have. I can definitely see, even pouring it, has a kind of a purplish brown sort of tinge to it when I pour it. Low white head. The head's nice, actually. It sticks around. It does reform as you swirl the glass. But like I said, the clarity is pretty good as well. Flavor-wise, taking a sip here. A lot of that caramel, a lot of butter, buttery notes, butterscotch, buttered popcorn. Very strong diacetyl flavor in it overall. Balance-wise, nearly even. Maybe leaning maybe a touch of bitterness, but it's kind of even, which is pretty unusual for an IPA. An IPA would be more obviously leaning toward the hops. Medium hop flavor, getting some of that citrus as well, but it's hard to sort of sort through the diacetyl and butter flavors to kind of pick that out. Little herbal probably quality as well with that. So a little citrus herb and the hop flavor beyond that. That's all I get. No acetaldehyde, no phenols, mostly just, like I said, just the diacetyl character. Mouthfeel, it's a medium body, medium low carbonation, little slick diacetyl finish, low warming, medium low hop astringency. So overall impression, really, I think the obviously the major problem is the diacetyl in the beer. It's interesting. Maybe there's some oxidation too. The color is really interesting to me. Just even the oxidation, it's something I'm pretty easy for me to spot is oxidation. I'm struggling to taste it a little bit too with just the levels of diacetyl here. Interested in the malt care. I'd be interested in hearing the malt amount here too. It plays up as being a very malty beer, but that could just be the fermentation, issues there, and having the hops kind of fight through that is really a struggle in this beer. So I think the number one thing I would do here is make sure you clean up the fermentation. Watch your fermentation temps. Make sure you pitch enough yeast. Don't let don't ferment too cold with the English strain if you're using that. And I guess it's also possible. A pediococcus infection can cause diacetyl as well, but I'm guessing it's more around a fermentation problem than anything else. And then, up the hops, but at the same time, it's sometimes hard to taste the hops through when you have a lot of diacetyl.
Yeah, I find that as well. Did you, your score?
Oh, so score was 20?
Okay.
All right, Brian, go ahead.
Sorry,
dude. My mic was off.
Your mic was
like
off.
a fucking noob. Go ahead, please.
So, I actually found some pleasant hops in there. You have to dig for it a little bit, but there's some pleasant citrusy and a little bit of tropical and a light little pininess to it. Not heavy, but it's in there. I can definitely get it. There's a low bready malt. And, it's just masked by this medium-level diacetyl artificial butter defect there. This was a pretty low and out-of-the-way kind of peri-apricot-like. I didn't get any obvious DMS or acetaldehyde. But, yeah, appearance-wise, it's kind of a golden grayish color in a way. It's an interesting color. I agree there, too. Had a pretty nice foam stand of creamy white bubbles. It was actually... fairly nice looking beer, of a slightly odd color, but it's nice and clear. I'd say brilliantly clear. So yeah, flavor wise, the hops are kind of hanging in there, medium, same as the aroma, but just again pretty masked by that medium high obvious buttery quality, the diacetyl. I felt like I got a hint of some solvent in there too, alongside that. But I would say that the beer is balanced in the hops still, and the bitterness is pretty low and out of the way, but there's still a good amount of hop flavor in there. So I think that if the diacetyl was out of the way, it would be pretty good. The quality of the hop flavors are pretty good. Citrusy and tropical, a little bit of dank, oniony. So an interesting blend there. The malt again, just bready and unassuming, out of the way. That buttered popcorn flavor lingers long into the aftertaste. Finishes kind of medium dry. The finish is kind of in the right place. In a way, you did a good job with a lot of elements of the beer. It's just kind of one major issue there. So the mouthfeel wise, medium bodied, no obvious warmth. I get a bit of slickness there from the diacetyl. Not super creamy, smooth or anything, but it's not harsh or biting. I'm not getting a rough astringency or harshness to it, which is nice. Medium carbonation, so yeah, it's smooth enough on the palate that it feels okay. It's not biting or hot. Overall, it seems like an otherwise nicely designed recipe. I'm not sure again the color is coming from any oxidation or what it might be, but it doesn't taste really oxidized to me. I'm not getting like papery cardboardy notes in there. So yeah, just that the butter, and yeah, the way to get rid of that is, be careful to leave your beer on the yeast in primary a bit longer at diacetyl rest temps at the end of your fermentation, 68 degrees or a little higher sometimes. A couple few days there as the yeast is kind of finishing out to reabsorb that stuff. These things are created early in the fermentation process, and the yeast will gladly reabsorb them for you and get them out of the way. And I find them especially kind of a bummer in a nice IPA with some good hop flavors, because just buttery and hops just really don't go together for me. But yeah, take care of your good yeast, and it'll take care of you. Ensure a big, healthy, vigorous pitch, and that'll take care of any of that solvent too. It'll just be a nice, smooth, clean beer, and it'll be ready to reabsorb all those flavors that it kicks out early in the fermentation. So, and also just watch out for big temperature variations in your fermentation too. So, yeah, I give it a 23. It's not, it's not definitely not anywhere near the worst beer I've ever had. It's a decent IPA, just with a simple diacetyl masking the good flavors that are there.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I think the water profile is good.
Yeah.
Like the
dryness,
I actually like the
finish.
bitterness in it, and the hops do come across to me as sort of orange and herbal as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting. Yeah, it's unfortunate the diacetyl is kind of playing the lead role right here.
Yeah.
And it should be mentioned too that some people, and it's hereditary, some people can't taste diacetyl or smell it. It's a certain percent of the population just doesn't get it. So, if you're in those lucky few, then hey, enjoy it. It's probably tasting great. But yeah. Thanks for sharing it. And I don't know if you were looking for what kind of feedback you were looking for there, but can we talk about your recipe?
Oh, yeah, actually, that's kind of funny. I actually sent this beer off to NHC, and I was in the St. Louis region, and we popped the bottle the Monday following the judging, and that's all we got to was diacetyl. But out of a keg, it was beautiful. Like we did a festival on the 18th of March, and I popped the keg. I mean, super popular. It was great. It was bright. All those notes were wonderful. So I think it was something that was caught up in my bottling, to be honest with you. I don't think it came from fermentation. I think it was in the bottling line.
Yeah, and oxygen, too. I mean, when you pour it, like, the color-wise, have you noticed when it was in the bottle, was it kind of grayish or brownish that we mentioned, the kind of purple?
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, I noticed that out of the bottle, but as far as out of the keg, it was fine. Yeah, and I use a bottling wand that I put in the picnic tap, and then I push it 5 psi. I purge the CO2. I thought I was doing everything as well as I could, but when we popped that thing open, the first thing we got was butter as well, and it was like, man,
how does that happen?
This is awful.
It tastes good otherwise. Yeah, I would change all your plastic equipment, that bottling wand, throw it all out.
Yeah,
maybe even your taps, like
already.
Break your taps down, clean all that out.
Clean everything. Yeah. But any plastic equipment for transferring, you might have some PDO running through that stuff, and just getting happy in the bottles, and with a little oxygen, it'll kick off that buttery.
Well, that's good that it's not a brewing.
Yeah,
thing.
no, it
like
seems
that would kind of bum me out a little bit more. I think
you brew it well.
Thing.
I can taste what it would be, and I wish I could taste that.
What was your recipe, Taylor?
We actually went. It was 6-gallon batch. I did 8 pounds of 2-row, 3 pounds of Maris Otter, and just a pound of pills. So super light. And then we did. This is an all like no boil hops at all. I did 3 ounces at First Wort, 1 ounce Amarillo, 1 ounce Cascade, 1 ounce Simcoe. And then I did the same 1 ounce Amarillo, 1 ounce Cascade, 1 ounce Simcoe at Flame Out Whirlpool, and then I did that same 1 and 1 at Dry Hop.
Yeah.
So, and then just double USO5 rehydrated pitch. So
Citra Emerald and what else?
Citro Amarillo Gold and Simcoe.
Oh, you said Cascade.
Okay. Cascade. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me that feels like it's a little low in terms of the hops. Just for this is 5 or 6 gallon in batch
Yeah,
size?
6 gallons. So 9 ounce to 6 gallon. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to go to West Coast.
Yeah, I think I would up the hops. I look at even for what I'm doing at home, like for an IPA, I'm usually 9 or 10 ounces dry hopping for a 10 gallon batch, which is an ounce per gallon, pretty much, and that's probably maybe in some people's minds a little bit low, even. But I would, I would even probably maybe double what you're doing in terms of hopping.
Actually, that's exactly what I just did. I did JP's favorite style. I did a New England of this.
Yeah.
And,
sorry, we lost Taylor. I don't know where he is
he's
anymore.
Gone. Must have been the power.
He's gone.
Glitch.
I can't. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
For a 5 gallon batch, which was fun. So
nice.
I think the other thing, I mean, the color, you can tell that there's oxidation, just the color, the grain that you mentioned, having, Maris Otter, 2-row, and Pills, that would be a golden color. Yeah. This is like amber gray.
It's like kind of brackish, right?
Yeah.
Strange, man. It's very weird.
That sucks, dude.
I mean, do you have any? Yeah, it really does. Do you have any questions for the guys, or kind of? I think everyone kind of really covered what they thought happened.
Yeah, you pretty much hit on everything we saw as well and tasted as well. Sorry I sent you that.
No, not really.
Hey, it's all right, man. We do have an Imperial Stout here for next month from you. So
yes, indeed. Yes, that thing's killer.
Okay, good. Hopefully you didn't screw that
one
up.
survived. That one is that one's good. We've tried it.
So you've tasted bottles of that too. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool, man. Well, thanks a lot, and we'll I guess we'll chat with you next month.
Yeah, man.
All right, dude. Thanks, man. Later.
Cheers.
Well, super cool kid. I mean, he seemed upbeat about sucking. No, I'm kidding.
He knows his, knows his stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And it does kind of suck that it's like it's not processed. So it's not. It's harder to say what happened.
Well, it is processed. I mean, it is bottling the
but
bottles.
Not like brewing, right?
I mean, but it is using a picnic tap. Like there could be a crack in the picnic tap handle, even adding oxygen straight into the bottle. Like I used to do the same thing with the picnic taps. I mean, you do better when you have the beer gun and have that. I don't want to rush out and buy one, but the beers are better when you do that. And I've had a lot of carbonation problems in the past when I wasn't using a beer gun, and I've never had an issue with the carbonation with 600 beers since using one of those. So
see, the problem is, Keith, he didn't wrap it in fucking Teflon tape like I did. That's his problem right there. He didn't seal it up very well, and whatever. Anyway, before we take a break, I do want to remind you guys that now is the time to register for HomebrewCon. HomebrewCon is the homebrew event of the year, packing a massive amount of fun and learning into 3 unforgettable days. If you don't forget them, you're doing it wrong, I think you just need to be blackout drunk the entire time. Those are the people who have the best.
I once beat up somebody with an ironing board in my room during HomebrewCon. Yeah, he couldn't stop messing with me, so I hit him with an ironing board in the head, and the ironing board bent in half.
Smart,
but that's the way to go.
That's the way to go. Ask for a room with multiple ironing boards in case you have to hit somebody with one. You have a backup.
Have something to fight back with.
This June 15th and 17th, join thousands of your homebrew comrades in downtown Minneapolis. Early pricing is still available, but not for much longer. Register now at homebrewcon.org. All right, we're going to take I don't know why I was going to say. We're going to take a fat break. I don't know where that came from. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to try more beer. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
All right, it's Dr. Homebrew. Hang on, we'll be right back.
Hello, fellow BNers. This is Sully from the 21st Amendment Brewery located in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park. Before Nico and I opened the 21A and before I was a professional brewer, I homebrewed on my small 4-burner apartment stove in a back house in Santa Monica, California, making my extract brews before graduating to the daunting idea of all-grain brewing. Homebrew books and information was hard to come by back then. The internet hadn't been invented yet, along with other things we take for granted today, like electricity and potable water. One thing I wished I had back then when I was learning was a radio show that could teach me the ins and outs of brewing and answer questions that I had about homebrewing, a resource for making great craft beer. The 21st Amendment Brewery is excited to be a proud sponsor of Dr. Homebrew, a great show that teaches you what you need to know about making incredible beer. Good stuff. Listen up, you might learn something. I certainly did. And thanks for your support. Tasty Crack Games.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making. Now, back to the examination.
All right, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Before we get on to the next beer, I do want to remind you guys that the folks at GrogTag, our good friends at GrogTag, have been hard at work creating new ways for you to customize your homemade creations. They recently dropped a brand new template on us called Dark Side, and they've just expanded their selection of bottle caps to include red and green options. So now I think they have like 5 colors or something like that. With all these products ready to receive your great ideas, there's no reason your bottles should be left naked any longer. Cover them up with Grog Tags. Head to grogtag.com now and enter code BNARMY at checkout to take 10% off your next order. That's grogtag.com and enter code BNARMY. All caps, if you want, you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me find Anthony's phone number. What are we drinking right now?
This is an American Pale Ale, Category 18B in the 2015 guidelines.
I like American Pale Ale. Do I see? This is my problem. I don't even have Anthony's friggin' phone number.
Oh man. Well,
I'm so bad at this. I'm so I'm so disorganized.
Hosting is hard, JP. You need to take a good long look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm
in the mirror.
Good enough. I'm smart enough. I can figure out how to collect people's phone numbers. I need to effing call.
I'm not really any of those things.
You could ask them to start including them on the labels that they give you for the beer.
Dude, I'm excited if there is a label on the beer. So
true.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's the one beer last night. I'm like, well, I'm not sure if I should be drinking this one in my fridge or this one or this one. I had no idea. Like, it's green. I know the cap was supposed to be green, and then I think I wrote cream ale last time around, so I actually could find it.
I wrote cream ale on the top of those. Yeah,
that's how I found it. But there's another green label, the green cap in there. I have no idea what that beer is in my fridge. Just random beers in my fridge.
Oh, here we go. I got it. Well, now you can feel free to drink it.
If I had a grog tag, I would not have that problem. I could put it on the bottle and.
Well, hey, I know what you can save 10% off your order. One. There we go. Okay.
Close your palate a little bit.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is order a bunch of them, and then label the things as to what they are. So we're getting him on the phone here. American Pale Ale. It's a good thing we were talking about Sierra Nevada just now. That's kind of
prototypical.
Well, here, Brian, why don't you start so we don't have to listen to the phone ringing?
Yeah, okay. Anthony's American Pale. Bottle had a nice hiss. Looks like a bottle-conditioned beer. Some yeast at the bottom.
Voice messaging system.
I was worried that I was going to get another bottle snake because the foam rose up in the neck just a touch, but then it just stayed there. I was like, oh, okay, good. Poured it. Pleasant citrusy, very inviting, and a little pine and light tropical hops in the aroma up front. The malt is slightly toasty behind that. Some medium low esters in there, kind of in check. Little apple pear thing. No DMS, diacetyl. Good smelling beer. Could be. I was wondering if it was maybe just a little bit past its prime. It's not stale per se, but it's just not quite as fresh smelling as it could be. But it's not like super honey-like or anything like that, or paper. It's not papery at all. It's just like, okay, it's like slightly older pale ale, maybe, but we don't know when it was brewed or anything. So anyway, appearance-wise, medium-light golden-colored body of the beer with a light hop haze to it and a low white head that persisted only for a short while. It kind of faded off there real quick. Mostly finer bubbles with a few larger bubbles as well. And flavor-wise, I'm getting a medium-light malt and kind of a bread crust-like presentation. Medium-low bitterness. It's pretty much out of the way. Nice and crisp. I really like the dry finish. It's really dry and kind of mid-early in the finish, I would say, too, which is maybe a little too much. So like a little bit on the kind of water comes across kind of minerally sulfatey. But that's just low and out of the way. Light flavor of hops in the aftertaste. It's not a hop monster, but it is definitely balanced to the hops just a bit. The flavor of the hops is not as intense as in the aroma. The aroma is super inviting and nice, and the flavor, I don't know if it's just the way it dries out on the finish that it kind of pulls some of those flavors down a little bit, or what it might be. But mouthfeel-wise, again, very crisp. It's not quite biting, but it has kind of a chalky dryness to it. The carbonation is medium. It's not creamy or smooth as hoped, but there's no obvious astringency either. It's kind of middle of the road. No alcohol warmth here. Just kind of a medium light body, kind of where it needs to be, but a little kind of chalky, dry, interesting finish to it. It is a pretty inviting APA aroma-wise. It falls slightly flat in the flavor and the mouthfeel. Just because of that kind of intense drying quality I found. Seems like it's a pretty good recipe. You could do some water adjustment and bring it into spec a little better, remove some of the minerals, especially the sulfates from your water, and try to leave just a whiff more of that malty sweetness to play against the nice hops that are there. But I really I thought it was a very good beer. I gave it a 31, and I would drink a lot of this. It's good.
Awesome. I think we're about to have Anthony back on here.
Oh,
Anthony.
Good.
Anthony.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey there.
What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. How's it going?
Pretty good. Just sitting here drinking your beer. You know how it goes.
Is he drinking his beer?
Are you drinking your beer?
Oh, good.
I will be very shortly.
There you go. Well, Brian just went, and you gave it a... What again, Brian?
I'm back now. Oh, I just went. Sorry. 31.
Okay.
I thought it's in very good territory. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Keith. You're up, bro.
I feel a little, maybe I'm rushing it. If Anthony's not drinking it, I'm going to talk about it. No, I'll just go. Anyway, so I got a medium citrus, medium-high floral notes. So I was getting a lot of floral in this as well. All derived from the hops, though, more than esters. Malt sweetness as well. No crystal, though, necessarily, or any sort of specialty malt. More just sort of a generic malt, like two-row sweetness. Very clean fermentation, very low esters. I think the one thing I'm getting tonight is a touch of burnt hair aroma. Not a lot, just
a burnt hair.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
what is that hop selection? I'm assuming there's no burnt hair in this.
No, I wouldn't think it was actual burnt hair. The source of burnt hair would be a yeast sort of byproduct. More than anything else, I would believe. Possibly, maybe. And Brian, you're willing to, you can look at your phone, or you can help out a little bit too.
No, there was a dog theft in Livermore. I'm cruising next door right now. Jeez, you guys, don't you care about canines?
A little autolysis maybe would be like I don't know, burnt hair.
I don't get it.
I'm not getting burnt hair.
I'm not saying it's major. I'm saying these are tiny,
I know
tiny.
Yeah,
amounts.
I get it. I'm just saying I'm trying to, because I'm trying to learn also, right? So if you guys say something, I'll try to pick it out, and then I'll tell you're lying.
It's maybe something I wouldn't even put on a spreadsheet. I didn't taste it last night, but tonight when I was smelling it, I got a touch of burnt hair.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But it's very, very minor, if at all, there. Anyway, appearance-wise, and I gave it a 9 out of 12 on appearance. On aroma. So I wasn't actually judging on the burnt hair. It was something I picked up a little bit today, and I just wanted to call it out because I did smell it. Appearance, medium gold. Excellent clarity on the first pour. It is bottle conditioned, obviously, because I poured a little bit more for myself, and I got a little bit of haziness there, but not a problem there at all. But almost low head, almost non-existent in some ways. Even more so the bottle I had before than this one. Talk a little bit about carbonation later. I think this may hold up a little bit better than bottle to bottle variation. Again, we're looking at here, and that probably happens a little more with. Naturally carbonated bottles too. But anyway, flavor wise, fruity, floral, reminds me of Cascade and Centennial in terms of, I don't want to call it hops, but that's what it reminds me of. It's very citrus and floral forward. Hop flavor is medium high, very clean fermentation, just a touch of caramel, medium malt sweetness, bitterness is medium, but the beer finishes more than fairly dry, just pretty dry. All appropriate for style. I thought the bitterness was upfront and just firm, but I didn't find the water profile to be a problem. I actually kind of like that. It reminded me of IPAs like Anchor Liberty, and that's kind of is that an IPA or APA sort of thing? And today it's an APA, but it sort of reminds me of a firm bitterness, and I didn't really have a problem with that.
It just kind of thinned everything out to me. I was like, there's nothing on the mouthfeel is kind of the aftertaste is kind of lacking. It just kind of dries away and it's gone.
Yeah,
but that can be fine, like especially in an IPA. But
yeah, and it's probably in style with that, but it's kind of like what you were really looking for as a judge and as your personal preference. But I felt like it would be very refreshing in that sense. I don't feel like it's not like overbearing when you drink a couple of them.
They can be pretty crisp. Yeah.
The problem I had yesterday was the bottle I had almost had zero carbonation, so I really had a hard time with that. This one has a little more. I still think the carbonation's medium low and not even at the medium level, so I thought it could be a little bit higher carbonation. Medium low body, no warming, light hop astringency otherwise in mouthfeel. Overall, I really enjoyed this beer. Thought it was very tasty. Don't really pay attention to my light burnt hair comment. That's just me trying to dig through something and try to find what things remind me of. Thought this really was very floral, citrus representation of an APA, low malt and kind of dry, and just actually kind of a good summer beer, thirst quenching in a way, not really truly thirst quenching, of course, it's a beer, but really liked that about it. I thought the carbonation could be upped even on both versions I tried. I'd like to see a little more carbonation. That might actually make it dry out even a little bit more, though, so if you do that, you may want to have a little more malt character to kind of support that carbonation that you have going along there. I honestly would like to see a little more hop aroma. I know Brian said it was probably more aroma than flavor. I think probably both could be up a little bit. I think it depends on how what kind of APA you were talking about.
Yeah, for the more modern, leaning ones, sure.
But I enjoyed it. It took me back to 1990 whatever year, sitting around drinking like an Anchor Liberty, which that's I think that's high praise in some ways.
Yeah, I could definitely see, for like a pale ale, it's not as like crystal malty as I've had like a Sierra Nevada pale ale or whatever, but it's definitely a summer crushable pale ale.
Yeah.
Easy drinking, doesn't hang out on your palate too long. Not enough burnt hair, I think, is really what I would
just forget about that.
I can never forget about it. So I can never forget about that.
Anyway, 32 was the score. I would, like I said, the carbonation up a little bit on it. I'd probably bump it up the score a little bit more than that. I just think that, when I was tasting the carbonation being a little low, that's where I would point it.
Okay, perfect. You want to go over the recipe a little bit here, Anthony?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man.
Okay, sorry, I said the refrigerator.
That's right.
Okay, so I had 13 pounds of 2-row, 1.5 pounds Crystal 15, and then an ounce of Magnum for the bittering hop. 2-ounce Cascade 10 minutes, 2-ounce Cascade of Flame Out, and 2 ounce of Amarillo after a week and a half.
Classic hops, yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry, I'm fighting a cold.
That's all right. That's all right.
So then when I was kegging it, I just pulled off a couple bottles and put the carbonation tabs in them, and those are the ones I sent to you guys.
Okay.
It's funny, we don't get many carbonation tab users, but you're the second dude on the show that has carbonation tabs.
Wow, what are the odds?
Yeah. I think that was the last show, right?
Yeah. Was it last show?
Yeah,
it's probably the last show. Oh, yeah. And there was like some contamination issue, we thought, from the carbonation tabs. So that's why Keith was laughing. It was like, oh, that's funny.
I just like to laugh.
Oh, no, it wasn't. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have any comments on the recipe at all?
I think it's good. I mean, I like it. You know, it depends on what you're looking to do. I mean, it's such a fine line to walk in an APA category. Like, it depends on what judges you get. Like, do you want something that's like way more modern? That's like, oh, I'm going to use like Citra or Simcoe or something else, you know, Denali or something crazy, or do I want to use something classic? And I like the fact that you're using classic hops. And Amarillo is kind of sort of the in-between sort of bridge there between those hops. I would probably go maybe a little bit more aggressive, but not way too much more aggressive. I like the Crystal 15, 1.5 pound, like the low amount there. I kind of like that, but it probably wouldn't hurt to give a little more body. Maybe even throw in some Carafoam or Carapils or something along those lines, or mash a little bit higher just to get a little more body in the beer and kind of balance it out a little more.
What did it finish at? I was curious.
10.8.
10.08. Okay, yeah. You're starting like 10.50 somewhere, or
42. It's only a 4.5.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's light.
It tastes pretty light. Yeah.
10.42, 10.08. That's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah. In that case, I would try to add throw in maybe a little bit of higher crystal. Like keep the 15, but maybe a splash of 40 or something, just to kind of beef it up a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's not going to hurt it.
But like he said, it depends on what you're going to do. So I should ask you, Anthony, what do you want to do with this beer? What questions do you have for these guys?
I am going to brew this beer again and send it into the Ohio Craft Beer Week come July. So I'm looking to take your guys' notes and brew it again and see what they have to say about it.
Okay.
Where are you, Anthony? You're in Ohio somewhere right now? Or are you?
Yeah. Yep.
Where in Ohio? You're not going to divulge that.
What's your street address?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm in southeastern Ohio.
Okay.
Southeast.
Where
Okay.
it's 70 degrees yesterday and snowing tonight.
Yeah, I went to college in southwestern Ohio, so I spent a lot of time in Ohio. But that's why I was asking where you are. And I know, I guess Athens is where the whole beer week thing there is. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
What's your water like? What do you use for water?
Wet.
I don't honestly know. I just carbon filter.
Okay.
Yeah, I know
I've
Southwestern.
never gotten a water report.
Southwestern water was pretty high mineral content. It was really high, actually. But Southeastern maybe more like Pittsburgh water, which has a little bit less mineral water content. So it's couldn't really say, but yeah, it's probably somewhere in between those two things.
Yeah, your base water seems pretty good. You might if you want less of that minerally character, you might blend it with some RO or something, and just to dial that back a little bit. But I mean, it's like there's two. Another way you can go is to get it to finish just a little bit higher and leave a little more residual sweetness. Yeah. You can also go higher on the starting gravity a little bit too. It's pretty light overall, but
it's really clean. I think that's the nice thing about it. Yeah, I think you're doing a good job in brewing it. I would, like Brian said, bump the starting gravity up, up the carbonation. Maybe not use. Don't use these tabs. If you're going to bottle it, either keg and do off of a keg, or bottle the whole batch with sugar.
Tabs seem to work fine in this case.
To me, I thought they were low. I thought they were really low in this case, which is kind of weird. But I mean, from one bottle it was. This bottle, it's kind of like the last night I was like, well, the carbonation is the major issue. It's pretty much
the
flat.
Head did kind of fade.
I had a flat beer last night, pretty much, so it was kind of a issue there. But I would think about raising the gravity, and I think everything else is pretty much spot on, other than maybe upping the hops just a little bit, but not too much. If you want to keep the same sort of profile where it's it's.
Yeah, I think the bitterness is in a nice place, so not upping the boil hops, but a little more late hop wouldn't hurt it.
Okay.
Cool.
What was the yeast strain? Sorry, I didn't ask that.
Oh yeah. He's going down the checklist.
Would have been 1056.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Nice.
All right. Pretty much
good healthy pitch. Oh, you do a starter and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Anthony, anything else for you, dude?
I want to say yes, but I'm blanking on it.
That's okay. That's all right. We'll be here for another 10 minutes, so if you have anything, just let me know.
You mentioned finishing hops. I think I kind of missed a little bit on the finishing hops. I think I was still drinking beer at that point in time. Are you doing like a whirlpool post-boil, sort of adding hops in that stage?
I added it was just that flame out.
Okay.
As soon as I turned the burner off, just dropped in a couple ounces, and then I think gave it a minute or two, and then turned the cold water on.
Yeah.
And, another option, and how much flavor you want or aroma you want. Another option is to try to go the approach where you drop the temp a little more, or let them sit even 20, 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes for a pale ale, and get a little more flavor that way as well, aroma that way. So sort of a whirlpool sort of approach, which a lot of professional breweries do, and get a lot of hop flavor that way as well.
Or a hop back, or a hop torpedo, or
all kinds of stuff like that.
Hop.
You do all those things together.
I want to get a hop burrito. I don't know what that would be.
It's burrito day. Isn't today burrito day?
Fucking every day's burrito day, bro.
Hop burrito. Yes.
Right?
I don't know.
A hop burrito.
A hop kayak.
Well, now you're just crazy. Anthony, anything else for you, dude, or are we just taking up your time?
I did remember.
Okay, what is it?
Good.
I have a barley wine down that's fermenting right now, kind of just chilling out. But I'm going to dry hop it with whole hops, and it'll be my first time doing whole hops.
Okay,
Any suggestions?
Be very careful. It's kind of hard to put whole hops into a beer because there's a lot of oxygen. Just I don't know. It's a really tough thing to do. I've tried it before. I've never had a lot of success dry hopping with whole hops. If I would give a suggestion to be don't do it and just use pellets instead. No, honestly, that's my concern. With a barley wine, you get a little more leeway because a little oxygen there wouldn't be so terrible.
Yeah.
But because you're talking about a beer that if it has some oxidation notes, it's fine. But I get a little worried about throwing something in that has a lot of matter and just I don't know. There's just like spaces and
pockets for air. Is that what you're worried about?
Yeah,
okay, all right.
Like for an Imperial IPA or an IPA, I'd be really worried about that. But
How
for
could
a barley
you-
wine, you could kind of. You could take hops like whole hops, put them into a vacuum sealer, suck it up, purge it, suck all the air out of it, and then quickly get them in.
Or flush them with CO2, maybe?
Flush with CO2.
Headspace, right, yeah, and all
blow
that.
them, blow them through the bag with CO2, pushing them into your carboy.
Yeah. If you're really crazy, that's something you can do.
How crazy are you, Anthony, on a scale from 1 to Keith? Because
not crazy enough.
But yeah, I think he's right. You can purge the oxygen and dump them in there, or purge it with CO2 and dump them in there, as well.
I think with a barley wine, you'll be all right. Don't listen to Keith.
Yeah. Well, also if you're doing it towards the end of fermentation, that yeast should kind of clean anything up too, right?
Yeah. If you do it as the fermentation is kind of winding down, you still have some activity going on. Yeast is an excellent oxygen absorber. It's a scavenger for oxygen. That's what it does. Yeah. It wants it.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you're going to do a barley wine, you may not want to dry hop when it's still fermenting. You may not. I don't know. It depends on how much you want to age it and what you want to do with it. If you want to clean it up a little bit, like I would probably dry hop later and let it sit for like 2 or 3 weeks and then dry hop after that.
Yeah, dry hopping a barley wine seems, I don't want to say counterproductive, but
I do it, but
you do.
It's kind of like how do you dry hop an IPL? Let everybody out there think about how do you dry hop an IPL? What do you do with that? Like, do you dry hop it?
The better question is why do you brew an IPL?
Well, that's your question for yourself.
That's true.
Something you think about late at night when you're not sleeping because it's raining outside.
Is there such a thing as a VIPL?
Maybe. Yeah, so I don't know. How do you dry hop an IPL?
Very carefully.
I think you would actually lager it, and then when you're done lagering it, raise the temperature and to like 70 degrees, and then dry hop it for like 3 days, and then drop the temperature again.
Back down.
And then knock out the hops, and then you're done.
Okay.
That's what I would do, but that sounds like a fucking lot of work.
That's a lot of work. Yeah. Does that help, Anthony? I don't know.
Sorry, Anthony. That was I thought about
it gives me lots of notes and places to start. And
he's just riding over there like, these guys are freaking nuts.
I'm interested. No, let us know how it turns out with the dry hopping.
Please
with,
do.
Whole leaf. Every time I've done it, I've failed miserably. I've failed miserably a lot, so that's not really saying
Every time he fails, he stands back up and looks himself in the mirror and says, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough.
That's right. All right, Anthony, thanks, man. We'll let you go.
Thank you.
All right, dude.
Thanks for the beer. It was actually really nice beer. So, yeah,
It was.
if you can make it even better and, get that carbonation up a little bit.
I think that he has a good starting
Got a
base
good
to
shot.
make the beer a lot better. It's a really clean beer to start with. Carbonation go up, and then add hops. Adding hops isn't hard.
No. Yeah. All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back and wrap this show up. It's Dr. Homebrew. Hang on. We'll be right back.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
Are you a member of the White Labs Customer Club? If not, you should be. It's the easiest way to earn free stuff for turning in your old homebrew labels from either Vials or Pure Pitch. All you have to do is save your labels and redeem them for things like free yeast, an exclusive White Labs t-shirt or sweatshirt, and even the opportunity to brew with the yeast man himself, Chris White. Signing up is easy. Just go to whitelabs.com/customer club, fill out the registration form, and then mail in your labels. They will return the favor by sending you awesome White Labs swag. Go sign up today at whitelabs.com/customer club. White Labs, pure yeast and fermentation since 1995.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but we're going to have to pour you out.
Back to Dr. Homebrew.
All right, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Before we wrap it up, I want to tell you guys about someone who I'm sure will be at HomebrewCon, not NHC, HomebrewCon, everybody. The iDip, the Smart Brew Water Testing Kit, incorporates a revolutionary photometer, which is the first and only one on the market with its own app. You can use it for home or commercial use, so it's great if you're going to open up a brewery. Let's invest in some equipment now, man. It's a good thing. It's the only meter on the market that runs water tests with no math needed, which is my favorite part of this whole thing. You can you can test over 40 different water quality test kits. 4 come preloaded, and more are available. You can test for things like total alkalinity, chloride, calcium hardness, pH, sulfate, and more, with only 4 mils of water needed for each test. It uses a patented, safe, and simple reagent testing method that anybody can use. It's as simple as me. You can perform each test with a pre-treated reagent strips specific for that test. You don't have to count drops or do complex equations. Again, no math needed. So go to smartbrewkit.com, enter code TBN10 at checkout, and save $10 on either the standard or the advanced Smart Brew testing kit. I like that thing. And they're good people. I think George will be there, or Mike are the 2 people that I talked to. And they're nice dudes, and they're really stoked about the iDip. And it's a cool system.
I talked to George a lot when I was messing around with the one I had there.
I'm still looking someone to lend me an iDip. That's, for a mead fermentation. I'm really interested in seeing how that's going to work out. But, so one of our winners on our shows, maybe they can ship it to me, and I'll give you more feedback on some of your beers.
Well, whenever the Rare Barrel guys are done, I'll steal it back from them, and I'll let you borrow it for a little bit.
Yeah,
because we have a Dr. Homebrew one that we pass around.
Keith is judging well, Keith. We might let you have it.
I think even the meat I was talking about, both the iDip and the beer bug. Both of those guys actually,
get the water just right and stop the fermentation exactly when you want to.
Both of them, yeah.
Yeah, the beer bug is rad, man. In case you guys don't know, you go to beerbug.com and check them out. And it's a device that sits on top of your carboy. It drops a little thing inside, and it measures the exact specific gravity of what's going on from start to finish, measures your temperature, tracks everything, so you know exactly what's happening in your beer, exactly when to stop fermentation, exactly when to add those whole dry hops. All that kind of stuff. So check those guys out too. They're great. They're great sponsors of this show. Unfortunately, we don't have one to give away because we gave one last show. But next
we'll give away more soon.
There will be more. There will definitely be more. And I think next month we're going to be giving away a Catalyst. And I think Craft or Brew, I would hope they're going to be NHC. I should have got all this information beforehand. The folks at Craft or Brew have just released an awesomely compact conical fermenter called the Catalyst. Made from plastic that is over 90% more scratch-resistant than other plastic conicals, and 71% less oxygen permeable. God, man, my tape is running low.
Told you should have let me do the live read, JP.
Its low-profile stand design allows it to fit snugly in your fridge or right up on your countertop. Cleaning is a breeze because the entire lid snaps off, so you can be sure to get all those little crusties off the sides. Perhaps the best part is the giant 3-inch butterfly valve at the bottom, allowing you to attach any size mason jar for yeast collection during fermentation. Recently, they've teamed up with Stone Brewing Company to offer a homebrew version of the famous Stone Pale Ale, so be sure to check that out under the products section of their website. Learn more at craftofbrew.com. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of things to give away, dude, let's give away something. We have our $40 At Least Your Beer Will Look Good grogtag.com gift certificate. The award goes to
Taylor.
Taylor, all right. Good job, Taylor. You're going to have $40. I'm always the only one clapping. Thank you very much. You're going to have $40 to spend on grogtag.com. Check it out. You can make coasters, metal signs. You can get bottle caps with a logo printed on it, or just you can use their templates, or, your friend face, put it on there, whatever you want to do, man. But $40 to you, dude. My good sir. Let me mark that down so I don't forget that. Okay, we're done. We're out of here. What do you think?
How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty good about it. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it.
I'll see you guys, soon.
On the flip side.
On the May side, yeah. This is my probably last couple shows before being a father, so.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Are we going to have to talk about, I think we're going to have to talk about some scheduling, huh?
Some names as well, like, maybe.
Jason is a really strong, powerful name.
I was thinking JP more than Jason.
No, well, you don't want JP. No, that's a name that will dog that child forever. Is it a boy or girl?
Yes. It's a boy, yeah.
Jason is perfect. All right, so little baby Jason will be coming in about when?
End of May.
End of May.
Brewer. Good name.
So does that mean you're not going to be, you're going to miss a few months probably?
No, I think I'll be here in May. Maybe won't be here.
Well, May, yeah, because we'll be first part of May, so that should be fine.
Won't be here in June, but I think I'll need the time in July. I should be here, just get away from the,
Yeah.
I need to talk to you guys about my schedule, too. I've got a few things coming up. Let me go through it.
You're done.
Really detailed.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up my Google Calendar right now.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for 5-star for being a sponsor, and thanks to you guys for sending in beer. It's been Dr. Homebrew. We'll see you guys later.